just having points written in the console isn't really that much for a great game. We would like something else, like as minimum a score number somewhere on the screen, and some hearts that show our lives, and maybe even a progress bar for our health, or maybe even something a bit crazier like a chicken-o-meter. If you haven't already seen the video on chicken-o-meters, there's a link in the description. But one of the most famous ones you might already know, it's the Doom guy from back in the early 90s. And he looked like this in the bottom of your screen when you started the game, and gradually as you lost health, he became more and more beaten up and more, and this is the one I most recognized from me playing the game. And I would like that to be an indicator of my health here, or my points. So whenever I click the green one, I go from bad to better looking, and when I click the orange one, I go in the other direction. So before I figure out how to do this in JavaScript, I'm going to do it in plain HTML and simply add the Doom guy up here in this corner. So in the HTML, I'm going to add my energy board. And inside that, I'm going to add my face, or the Doom guy's face. And right now, it doesn't show anything at all. But if in my CSS, I'm going to design my energy board here. That would be positioned absolute. And I want it up here, so that would be in the top right corner, or almost at the right, say 2 VVs, and top 2 VVs. And let's see if there's, I also need a width. Let's say 10 VVs, and a height of also 10. Let's see, what size is the Doom guy here? He is 90 times 108. You know what? I'm going to make it easy for myself and make him 9 wide and 11 tall. That's almost the same as 10.8 VV. And then I'm going to do the face and a background image of just one of them, the good looking one. Give it a size. And why doesn't it show up? What have I forgotten? There's the energy board, and inside that there's the face, and the face doesn't have any size. Of course, I need to give that a width of 100% and a height of 100%. So there he is. I'm going to double these, 18 and 21.4. 6. So there he is. And how can I change it? Well, I can just add a class, say face 1. That would set this background image. And face 2 would set the next one. And face 2 and face 3. And these are PNGs, but that doesn't make any difference. They could just as well have been SVGs. So I'm just, back in those days, PNG, neither SVG or PNG existed. So it's kind of irrelevant. So here, so now I should be able to go and click the face. I have the face div and give him a face 1. Well, yeah, that's the one he already has, but then I should be able to give himself a face 2 and remove the 1, and no, phase 2. Because I make this mistake that I cannot with a class override anything that is in the ID, so I cannot put the face on him here. But now if I have phase 2, and then I can add phase 3 and 4 and 5, 6 is not existing. So this is the HTML and CSS for changing the images. Now I just need to do it in JavaScript. Now first I'm just going to try if I can set the face here. So I'm going to document query select the face, and maybe I should have, that's okay, an ID. And then I'm simply going to add the class of face 1 just to see if it works. So right now there's no face, but once I click, it becomes phase 1. If it was phase 2, then it will show phase 2. Good. So now I just need to, instead of this number, the number 2, I need to show this number, the same number as points. And I can do that with concatenation. Instead of writing the number, I'm just going to write plus and then my variable. So this gives me 3 points, phase 3. Is that phase 3? Does it look that bad already? Phase 3, yeah, certainly. And then phase 4 and phase 5. And if I go further, nothing happens. And if I go back, also nothing happens, because I need to add the same one down here. So this gives me phase 3, 2, 1. Nothing happens. I can only go in one direction, I cannot go back. And if we see why that is, he has all the faces, and we don't want that to happen. So before we add a face, we want to remove all of them. But we're kind of lucky here because our class isn't used for anything else. So we could just remove everything. So if we say document query selector dot class list equals nothing, when we click the square, that means we can go back, because see, we add faces here, but then when we remove everything. And we don't actually even need to set it equal to nothing. We could just set it equal to the face that we're going to add, like this. So this is different from class list add in that it doesn't add any class, but it just sets the class to be whatever you write here. So we're going to do that in both cases. And then once we click, we are at phase 5, and now we're at phase 6, doesn't exist. And when we go back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we go to 0, doesn't exist. Right now we cannot stop the user from clicking when our point reaches a certain number, but that will be in a much later lesson. At least we can show a cool chicken-o-meter with the Doom guy.